Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 76. A. Daf Ayin Vav Amud Aleph. And top of the page with the words Ma'lihi. Ma'lihi sheken ima b'schreifo. Tamer bahush ima b'skilo. What is notable about her relatives? They are notable in that one who engages in intercourse with the mother of his wife is liable to be executed by the more severe punishment of burning. Will you then say that there is a prohibition with regard to his relatives? Or one who engages in intercourse with his mother is liable to be executed by the less severe punishment of stoning? Ve'oid hu kihi mahi lo chilakta ba ben bita le'imo afu lo tachlok ben bito le'imo. And furthermore, one must say that the status of his relatives is like the status of her relatives. And just as with regard to her relatives, you did not distinguish between her daughter and the mother of her mother, and one who engages in intercourse with either is executed by burning, so too, with regard to his relatives, you should not distinguish between his daughter and the mother of his mother, and he should receive the same punishment for engaging in intercourse with either. Since one who engages in intercourse with the mother of his mother is executed by stoning, and one who engages in intercourse with his daughter is executed by burning, the parallel between his relatives and her relatives is incomplete, and the prohibition cannot be derived. The Gemara continues, and according to the one who says that stoning is more severe than burning, due to this third difficulty, the fact that intercourse with the mother of his mother is forbidden, his halacha is not derived, as the parallel between his relatives and her relatives is incomplete. Imahu kalosesura afi kalosesura. The Gemara asks if a parallel is drawn between his relatives and the relatives of his wife with regard to the prohibition, just as with regard to his relatives, his daughter-in-law is forbidden to him, so too, with regard to her relatives, her daughter-in-law is prohibited to him. Amar Abaye, Amar Ko Eshes Bincho Hi. Mishum Eshes Bincho Atu Mechayvoi. V'i Atu Mechayvoi Mishum Eshes Bino. Abaye says, that is not so. The verse states, you shall not expose the nakedness of your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife. You shall not expose her nakedness, Leviticus 18:15. Due to his intercourse with the wife of his son, you deem him liable to be executed, but you do not deem him liable to be executed due to his intercourse with the wife of the son of his wife. Rova Omar Bein Leman de Omar Dun Mina Umina Bein Leman de Omar Dun Mina V'Orki Basra Lo Asya. Rava says the derivation is unnecessary, as with regard to the method of derivation by means of a verbal analogy, both according to the one who says infer the halacha from it and derive the details from it, and according to the one who says infer the halacha from it, but interpret the halacha according to its own place. It is not derived that intercourse with one's wife's daughter-in-law renders him liable to be executed. Leman de Omar Dun Mina Umina Mahu Kalos Esuro Afinami Kalos Esuro Umino Mahu Beskilo Afi Nami Beskilo. The Gemara elaborates, according to the one who says, infer the halacha from it and derive the details from it. One might infer, just as with regard to his relatives, his daughter-in-law is forbidden to him, so too with regard to relatives, her daughter-in-law is forbidden to him. And derive again from it, just as with regard to his relatives, he is liable to be executed by stoning due to his intercourse with his daughter-in-law, so too with regard to his relatives, he is also liable to be executed by stoning due to his intercourse with her daughter-in-law. Lemanda amar skila chamuro ika lemifrach ma'alehu sheken ima b'skilo toimar behi shima b'sreifa. The Gemara proceeds to explain why this is not a valid derivation. According to the one who says execution by stoning is more severe than execution by burning, the inference can be refuted. What is notable about his relatives? They are notable in that one who engages in intercourse with his mother is liable to be executed by the more severe punishment of stoning. Will you then say that the same is true with regard to her relatives, where one who engages in intercourse with her mother is liable to be executed by the less severe punishment of burning? Ve'od bita b'scheva v'kalas b'skila hu b'atzma yechiach b'bita b'scheva v'kalas b'skila. And furthermore, as one who engages in intercourse with the daughter of his wife is executed by the less severe punishment of burning, is it possible that one who engages in intercourse with the daughter-in-law of his wife, a more distant relative, is executed by the more severe punishment of stoning? The Gemara rejects that refutation. He himself, with regard to his own relatives, will prove that it is in fact possible, as one who engages in intercourse with his daughter is executed by burning, and one who engages in intercourse with his daughter-in-law is executed by stoning. Ela mahu lo chilakta bo benim legalasoi afu lo tachlok ba benim legalasoi ulemando amasoi chachamua v'haiku shelo nidunin. Rather, just as with regard to his relatives, you did not distinguish between his mother and his daughter-in-law, and one who engaged in intercourse with either is executed by stoning, so too, with regard to her relatives, you should not distinguish between her mother and her daughter-in-law. Since one who engages in intercourse with the mother of his wife is executed by stoning, apparently, one who engages in intercourse with her daughter-in-law is punished by burning, not stoning. Therefore, the parallel between his relatives and her relatives is incomplete, and the prohibition cannot be derived. And according to the one who says that burning is more severe than stoning, although the refutation is based on the fact that execution by stoning is more severe and are not relevant, due to this difficulty, this halacha is not derived. Afi kalose suro yoki basrei pasamu de skilo aval hocha bisreifa kedashkachan beima. And according to the one who says, infer the halacha from it, but interpret the halacha according to its own place, one might infer, just as with regard to his relatives, his daughter-in-law is forbidden to him, so too with regard to her relatives, her daughter-in-law is forbidden to him, and interpret the halacha according to its own place. It is there, with regard to his relatives, that one who engages in intercourse with his daughter-in-law is executed by stoning. But here, with regard to her relatives, one who engages in intercourse with her daughter-in-law is executed by burning, as we found that this is the punishment with regard to to one who engages in intercourse with her mother. One with her mother? Oh, his wife's mother. Okay. Because there's no punishments for women on women stuff. Derisically and biblically. The Gemara proceeds to explain why this is not a valid derivation, according to the one who says execution by stoning is more severe than execution by burning. The inference can be refuted. What is notable about his relatives? They are notable in that one who engages in intercourse with his mother is liable to be executed by the more severe punishment of stoning. We then say that the same is true with regard to her relatives, or one who engages in intercourse with her mother is liable to be executed by the less severe punishment of burning. V'od, and furthermore, mahu chilakta bo, ben bito lechalasoi, afi taklok ba, ben bito lechasa. U'madam enam b'srev chamura, mehai kushya loi nidunin. And furthermore, just as with regard to his relatives, you distinguish between his daughter and his daughter-in-law, and one who engages in intercourse with his daughter is executed by burning, while one who engages in intercourse with his daughter-in-law is executed by stoning. So too, with regard to her relatives, distinguish between her daughter and her daughter-in-law. This is contrary to the parallel drawn between his relatives and her relatives, and the halacha cannot be derived. And according to the one who says that burning is more severe than stoning, although the refutation is based on the fact that execution by stoning is more severe, are not relevant due to this latter difficulty. The halacha is not derived. Bito manosaminayin, b'morabaya kal v'choymer al bas bito anush, al bito lokol shchein, bito lokol shchein. Throughout, it is clear from the Gemara that one who engages in intercourse with his daughter is executed by burning. The Gemara asks, with regard to one's daughter born from a woman whom he raped, from where it is derived that she is forbidden. From where is it derived that she is forbidden to him? The Gemara answers, doesn't Abaye say that this is inferred from an a fortiori? If one is punished for engaging in intercourse with the daughter of his daughter, for engaging in intercourse with his daughter, is it not all the more so that he is punished? The Gemara asks, but does the court administer punishment based on an a fortiori inference without an explicit source? The Gemara replies, this is a mere disclosure of the matter, not a derivation by means of an inference. Presumably, the punishment administered to one who engages in intercourse with the daughter of his daughter stems from the kinship with his daughter. When the verse states, with regard to the daughter of his daughter, for theirs is your own nakedness, Leviticus 18:10, his daughter is included. Rava Amar li Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi. Interesting. Previously it said Yitzchak bar Avudimi, and here it says Yitzchak bar Avdimi. Anyway, okay. Asya Hena, Asya Zima. Did we do this already? I guess we did. Rava says, so Rabbi said to me that the prohibition of engaging in intercourse with one's daughter, who is not the daughter of his wife, is derived by means of a verbal analogy between the word Hena, which is with regard to his descendants, the nakedness of your son's daughter, or of your daughter's daughter, even their nakedness you shall not uncover. For theirs, Hena is your own nakedness. Leviticus 18:10. The word Hena, written with regard to the descendants of his wife, you shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. You shall not take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They, Hena, are near kinswomen. It is lewdness. Leviticus 18:17. Then it is derived from a verbal analogy between the word lewdness, Leviticus 18:17, and the word lewdness in the verse. And if a man takes a woman, and her mother is lewdness, they shall be burned with fire, both him and them, and there shall be no lewdness among you. Leviticus 20:14. Tana Tnei Avun de Rab Avin, Lefi Shelo Lemadu Lebita Menuse, Me'anu Sose, Chutz HaKosher Lemar Bas Ish Kohen. The father of Rabbi Avin teaches due to the fact that we did not learn a punishment for one who engages in intercourse with his daughter born from a woman whom he raped. From an explicit verse in the Torah, it was necessary for the verse to state, and if the daughter of any priest profanes herself by acting licentiously, it is her father whom she is profaning, she shall be burned with fire, Leviticus 21:9. The verse can be interpreted, and if the daughter of any priest profanes herself by acting licentiously with her father, she shall be burned with fire. Ma bas kohen hi b'sreifa, ve'im boal b'sreifa, av bitum in saseh, hi b'sreifa ve'im boal b'sreifa. The Gemara asks, if so, why not say, just as in the case of the daughter of a priest who commits adultery, she is executed by burning, but her paramour is executed by strangulation, not by burning. So too in the case of one who engages in intercourse with his daughter born from a woman whom he raped, she is executed by burning, but her paramour, meaning her father, is executed by other means and not by burning. Amar Abaye, Amar Kol. How much more do we have? Whoa. It's a lot, man. Let's see, where are we holding? Amar Abaye, Amar Kol, Zavia Mechalas, Mi Mechalas Zavia, Yet Abaye says, the verse states, it is her father whom she is profaning, from which it is inferred that one who profanes her father by acting licentiously is executed with a court-imposed death penalty, different from the death penalty imposed upon her paramour. Excluded from that halacha is this case of a daughter whose father engaged in intercourse with her, where it is her father who profanes her. Rava Amar Bishlam Mahasam Pekte Medina de Bas Kohen V'o Kamete Dedina Bas Yisrael Hacha Adina Deman Mokmatle Adina de Penuye Makmale. Rava says, granted, there, in the case of the daughter of a priest who commits adultery, based on the inference, you excluded the paramour from the punishment of the daughter of a priest. Daughter of a priest. The daughter of a priest is equal to 226. That's, or daughter of a priest. Execution by burning, you established, is punishment to correspond with the punishment of an adulterous Israelite woman who is executed by strangulation. But here, in the case of one who engaged in intercourse with his daughter, to correspond with those with whose punishment do you establish the father's punishment? The Torah does not state any other form of execution in that case. Will you establish his punishment to correspond with the punishment of an unmarried woman who engages in intercourse, who is not liable to be executed at all? Therefore, there is no alternative to the conclusion that the father too is executed by burning. The Gemara asks, from where is the prohibition against engaging in intercourse with his daughter born from a woman whom he raped derived? Granted, according to Abaye and Rava, who respectively derived the punishment a fortiori or by means of a verbal analogy, from the same source from which they derived the punishment, from there they derived the prohibition as well, as a source includes a prohibition. Ela liditani avod Rabbi Avin mai Amar Rabbi lo Amar kral tachalel et pitchal ez noiso. But according to that which Rabbi Avin's father teaches, that the punishment is derived from the verse written with regard to the daughter of a priest. What is the source for the prohibition? Rabbi Ilah says that the prohibition is derived from a verse, as the verse states, do not profane your daughter, by causing her to act licentiously, lest the land falls into licentiousness, and the land becomes full of lewdness, Leviticus 19:29, from which it is derived that one may not engage in intercourse with his daughter. Maskiv lo Rav Yaakov achu de Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Yaakov, the brother of Acha bar Yaakov. So his name was Yaakov bar Yaakov, I guess. Maybe it was from his mother's side. Maybe he was a brother, maternal brothers, who knows. Hi al techalas bitchalas noisa, lachi hudasa. Hi mi moy dekedis hanya al techalas bitchalas noisa. Yacha rekoid hamasi es bito lelevi. Yisrael akas medaber tamad lo maras noisa. Bechilu shebiznos akas medaber noisa es bito shelo l'shem ishus. Rabbi Yaakov, brother of Rabbi Acha bar Yaakov, objects to this. Does this verse, do not profane your daughter by causing her to act licentiously, come to teach that halacha? This verse is necessary to derive that which is taught in a Braita. With regard to the verse, do not profane your daughter by causing her to act licentiously, one might have thought that it is with regard to a priest who marries his daughter to a Levite or an Israelite that the verse is speaking, since marrying an Israelite disqualifies her from partaking of Truma. To counter this, the verse states, by causing her to act licentiously, indicating that it is with regard to profaning that involves licentiousness that the verse is speaking. The reference is to one who gives his daughter to a man for the purpose of intercourse that is not for the sake of marriage. Why would he do that? Okay. Im kein lemekro al techel, my al techalel, shma minatarti. V'bai v'rov v'hai al techalel bilchal az noiso, my al delay. Amer Rabbi Mani, ze hamasi es bitoy lezakim. The Gemara answers, if so, and that is the sole derivation from the verse. Let the verse say, do not profane. What is the reason that the verse uses the more complex form? Do not profane, to conclude two derivations from it. The Gemara asks, and according to Abai and Rava, who derive the prohibition against engaging in intercourse with one's daughter from a different source, what do they do with this verse? Do not profane your daughter by causing her to act licentiously. Rabbi Mani says this verse is referring to one who marries his daughter to an old man. Since she will not be satisfied with him, it will ultimately lead her to engage in adultery, and her father is responsible for causing that situation. Okay. Kedetanya, al techalas bilchalas noisa, Rabbi Eliezer Omer, ze hamasi es bito lezakin. Rabbi Kiva Omer, ze ha-meshahe bito bogeres. This derivation is, as it is taught in Braita, do not profane your daughter by causing her to act licentiously. Rabbi Eliezer says, this is referring to one who marries his daughter to an old man. Rabbi Akiva says, this is referring to one who delays the marriage of his daughter who is a grown woman. Since she finds no permissible outlet for sexual desire, she is apt to engage in licentiousness. Amar Rav Kahana mishum Rabbi Akiva, en lecha ani b'Yisrael ela rasha arum v'hamasha bita b'geres. Automash hamasha bita b'geres lav rasha arum hu. Rav Kahana says, in the name of Rabbi Akiva, you do not have a pauper among the Jewish people other than one who is a conniving, wicked person, who seeks to conceal his true nature, and one who delays the marriage of his daughter who is a grown woman. The Gemara asks, is that to say that one who delays the marriage of his daughter who is a grown woman is not a conniving, wicked person. He connives to delay her marriage to ensure that she will stay at home and do the housework, sparing him the cost of domestic help, and thereby causes her to sin. Amr Abai says.